You guys ready?
Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I am Russ Laguerre. I'm your assistant minister, and I'm delighted to be here with you today. And can we share some more love to Sophia and the band? Thank you for waking us up with some beautiful music. Whether you are in the room with us today or you're watching online, please know you are very welcome here. Now, I invite you to join me in reading out loud our mission. There we go. Wonderful. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We're motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. The New Thought movement, which we are a part of, has a rich tradition of pioneering women who have helped to shape and found this teaching. Emma Curtis Hopkins, Myrtle Fillmore, Nona Brooks, Melinda Kramer, and so many more. They are all examples of how the divine feminine is deeply rooted in what we teach. And that's what we are exploring in August through the focus on pagan traditions where the importance of embracing the divine feminine is often emphasized. So this month, you'll be hearing about the pagan traditions and divine feminine from 5 women here in our center. Reverend Ruth Barnhart, who you'll hear from today, Reverend Tara Steele, Reverend Joyce DeFalla, Reverend Scioto Bell, and Nancy Reynolds, who you've probably seen hosting up here. So I am looking forward to hearing what they say, and I hope you are too. And on your way in, you should have received a flyer too that has some comparisons between Science of Mind, the divine feminine, and pagan tradition. So be sure to check that out. Now, we can discover that divine feminine within ourselves through our 5 spiritual practices that we teach here at the center. And would you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. Now, one of the ways that we practice selfless service is through our youth and family program. Every Sunday here at the center at 11 a.m., you can bring your children, and we will share with them age-appropriate Science of Mind tools and wisdom so that they can find that joy and wisdom within them. And if you love children and you want to be a guiding adult for them in our youth program, we're always looking for more volunteers there. You can send an email to our youth coordinator, Jennifer Caldwell. Her email is very easy. It's youth@cslsr.org, and she will answer any questions that you have about volunteering or sharing the center with your children. Now, I'd like to share a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand as you're able or raise your hand? We would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of gratitude for joining us today. And please keep your hand up or remain standing so that we can find you. And if you're watching online for the first time, please let us know in the chat. We're so grateful that you're here with us. I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Reverend Ruth's message, you will find exactly what you need for the next step of your spiritual journey. Please know you are very welcome here. Now sit back and relax and enjoy some music before our short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
There is only one life, known by so many names, by so many paths. But whatever name it goes by, whatever path it's through, there is only one. It is the one source. It is the one designer and creator of all life. It is the ground of being. It is the divine intelligence infused with love through its essence, connecting each and every creation to itself and to every other creation as it manifests all of the qualities of beauty and love and harmony and vitality as whole, complete, perfection, and unity. I am one of those creations, as is each person in this room and online. Each of us gifted in the humanness of life, accepted by that divine one, with that divine spirit in us, through us, as us, and surrounding us. Walk our path each day, showing the world who the Spirit is through us, making the world a better place for everyone. I accept for this service the message of wholeness, completeness, perfection, and unity and community. Through the announcements, through the prayer, through the message, through the music, all of which is the divine presence in and as through each of us. I give great thanks for this time. I love the realization that divine is here and always is and will be. And I release this message to the law of community. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Peggy Weber, and I'm a volunteer here and a practitioner here. Would you please read with me the affirmation behind and in front? I honor the sacred cycles and dance with the turning of the wheel, and so it is.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. Today is the day I'll remember to see only good, only God happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Today is the day I'll be more of myself, love my skin where I've been and everyone else. No more push, no more pause, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life, yeah. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. I am loved by this thing called
It's okay.
Thank you. Can we give them some more love? Thank you. I love that I can always trust that I'm in good hands when I come here. I so appreciate all of you. That song reminded me of a quote I read the other day that said, "You're made of mud, be humble. You're made out of stars, be radiant." As Russ said, this is a new month. We're going to be talking about the pagan traditions and the divine feminine. I hope you didn't show up just to hear what I have to say about the divine feminine, because I have very little to say about it. Edward asked me about it, and I questioned him. This was a year ago, and Edward knows, so he let me stay on the stage so that I'm not going to do what he tells me to do. I thought about this, what this idea of the divine feminine is. I had no masculine divine. I don't. And so when the whole idea of the divine feminine came up, no matter to me. It wasn't significant, other than I recognized that a lot of women needed to hear that voice. And I appreciate that. We need to know, as the book says, that there is a divine, a God that looks like us. So when I looked at what does that mean to me, the divine feminine, I thought about all the qualities that we name, and the receptive and the gentle and the loving, and then I thought about what we say about the male God of the intelligence and the initiator, and I'm like, I'm going to have none of that. And the only thing I could go to, if I'm going to go to anything, is the transcendent and the immanent. Have you heard those before? The transcendent God being the intelligence of the one presence that's being us. When Sophia's saying, I know where I came from, it's that one source of life. And the immanent, which is our tradition, we come from transcendentalists. Their understanding, their new thought was that God's not in the heaven or just in the heavens, that the infinite is right here, being all that we are. Not you and me, all of life. That's the immanent. And there's no separation. There can be no separation between the one source and the life that it's being. I love the title that I found out after I chose this week, was in the pagan traditions, the turning of the wheel. Now, the pagan traditions, like the Native American, are a bunch of different traditions practiced in a lot of different cultures with lots of different gods and goddesses. But in that idea of the turning of the wheel, there is that understanding that life is fluidly shifting and turning together. We have this false experience as human beings, and I don't know why, but we do have that false experience that I'm somehow separate from life, don't we? You walk in your garden and you think you're the gardener that's making the things grow. Because we can't experience that there's something that's growing and turning in us right now. And it's fluid, it's always turning. Now, you know the pagan traditions from the celebration of the phases of the moon, of the equinox and the solstice, in those times in the middle between. They celebrate the turning, that recognition that life is always moving. Ernest Holmes, our founder in this tradition, said, we are fluid. That's why prayer works. Because nothing, no one, no experience is fixed and solid. We like that when we think of things we want to change. It's a little harder when we're sort of attached to the solidness of our unique being or the solidness of a condition. So I want to talk a little bit about the being made of mud. I realize I always talk about the mud part. Because the challenge of being in any spiritual teaching isn't the good days, right? You don't go to prayer because you're just having the most incredible, excellent day. People tend to go to prayer when things fall apart. Last year, on October 7th to be exact, I fell. Interestingly enough, I was in the rural cemetery, so I fell into the dirt, and I had this thought, well, here I am. They might as well throw the dirt over me. Which was interesting to me that I could have that thought, being that I shattered the head of my humerus. That's your shoulder for those of you who don't know where the humerus is. And the pain was intense. Even as I had these thoughts of, well, maybe I just sprained it, maybe I just need some ice, I knew that those were delusional thoughts. And yet, I was gifted by this voice that came in quickly and brought me present. Because I could hear that chattering of my mind, wanting to judge myself, like, what was I thinking? What happened? I wanted to undo that step. And I could hear those voices in my head of, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to get through this? Because it was my dominant arm. And it was totally not functional. And it hurt. And the voice said, this is your life. Not a judgment, not a condemnation, but a calling home to the moment. And I used that anchoring and that thought again and again and again for the 6 weeks I was in a sling, waiting to find out if they were going to have to do surgery or not. In pain the whole time. This is your life right now. What are you anchored in? I love that song that Sophia sang at the beginning of every thought is a prayer. We like to think of our prayers as being those good thoughts. And we forget that life is creating through us all the time. What are we anchoring in? Like I said, I was gifted with this awareness of this is your life. It brought me home. When I was thinking about this service, I was remembering seeing the whirling dervishes. Has everybody seen them? It's worth seeing. Someone standing and spinning 20, 30, I don't know how long they can do this. And it doesn't take a lot to realize how it could take you out of yourself. You have to surrender at some point and go into ecstasy. The secret is that they're not spinning like we spun around as little kids and got dizzy and fell over. They have one foot anchored that turns but doesn't move and get up. It just stays anchored on the ground. That's our spiritual practice. That's prayer. That's our affirmation. Or that's our surrendering into service, that anchoring that keeps us from spinning out of control, because you know we're spinning right now, right? We are spinning. What holds us here? So I want to invite you to your life right now for just a moment. I was with some friends the other day, and I was joking about, I wonder how long they could sit in silence if I didn't speak? How long can we sit without filling up the space with those thoughts? But I'm not going to make you do that. I'm not going to challenge you. But I am going to ask you to just stop for a moment and notice yourself sitting in the chair. Notice that's holding the chair in your body and everything actually right here on the earth. Notice and think of that's holding the earth itself as it spins and turns right now. Your breath. Notice that something is breathing through you. Same atmosphere, same air breathing in all of us. Same intelligence breathing all over the planet right now. Just stop and notice. It's that thing that we come from. It's that thing we're really made out of. It's right here. We don't have to effort to get to it. We don't have to fix or change the conditions of our life or the world. Just right here. So simple. Ernest Holmes, the founder, said he describes prayer as an aligning with a oneness. That's so abstract in our thinking. It sounds so good. But right now, imagine that you're connected to everything and everyone in this room. We live in this one field, this one space. And this one field in space holds all the people on the planet, all the life forms. Everyone, people you like and don't like, people who are maybe doing hurtful things. Everyone held in this one life. Everyone interconnected. This is the basis of the pagan traditions, and it really is the basis of our teaching. Life interconnected, fluidly shifting and changing all the time. What is your anchor? Where is your attention? What is your thought right here? We're just stopping and noticing. You might say waking up to what's really here. When I did this with my broken shoulder, the pain didn't magically go away. But I could be with it a little better than when I let my thoughts run away with me. It hurt. But I could breathe into it without going off in the stories of how is this going to happen and is this really going to heal? Right where we are, something is being all of life and nothing is outside of this one. And it's turning anew. We talk about in this teaching, and the pagans talk about in nature, we talk about the seasons, and they celebrate the seasons, how we plant seeds, and then we reap and harvest our good, and then we let go. And at the end of the year, we all sit on that fallow ground, just that stillness. I'm inviting you to know that stillness is always right here. In fact, this isn't something that's seasonal. We could say day into night into new day, always happening. But we could even bring it closer, one breath into the next. Life is shifting. Are you anchored? Are you touching that ground of being? Are you recognizing that something's holding you and being you and unfolding through you and around you? The pagans are known for the rituals. We love rituals. I hear about the people loving or missing some of the rituals we used to do. Back in the old day, in the old school of our teaching, there was this debate of, do we do rituals? Oh no, this group didn't do rituals because it's all in consciousness, and this other group was into the touchy-feely rituals. It matters not. The pagans never did rituals to change or improve the world. And Ernest Holmes says, we're not really improving the world. We're not here to fix it. But we are here to express into it. We're going to express into it no matter how we are and what we're thinking and doing. In our worst moments, we're expressing into it. When we see people doing things that are hurtful in the world, they're expressing into it from the level of consciousness that they are. I can blame them, but that certainly takes me out of my alignment. I can point my fingers and say who's to fault, who's to blame. Or I can come home and recognizing life's turning anew. Where am I holding the people in my life or myself or others fixed in this idea? This is the way I am. This is the way you are. This is the way it is. And in this turning of the wheel, we are invited to let go. To be new in this moment, that the new thought comes forth, that expresses itself through us. Not from our thinking mind, not from our wants and desires, but through us, from that natural process of life that gives forth all life. You with me? So simple. It's just not what we're used to doing. Stopping and being still for a moment. I thought of this story, and probably the only reason I tell this story is because it's so adorable to me. It makes me happy. When my granddaughters were 5 and 8, they're 26 and 29 now, Martha Salazar and I took them up to see these brand new pigs, these little piggies. And we put on our boots and we sludged through the farmyard and went into the barn. And in the corner of the barn was this little pen. And the mother pig was there with her little squealing piglets. And my girls started squealing with the piglets. They each got to hold one of these wiggly little piglets, and then they put them down and they watched these little babies suckle on their mom. At some point, the 5-year-old pulls on my sleeve, and so I lean over to listen to what she has to say, and she says, "Ruth, can we go outside?" And I assumed she needed to go to the bathroom. So I turned around and we walked out of the barn. And as we stepped out of the barn, she threw her arms out wide and said, "There's so much air out here." We live in that clean, open atmosphere. Surely we know this from what's going on. It gets stinky sometimes, and sometimes we're part of that stinkiness, are we not? In our thinking, in our attitudes, in the way we are, our moods, and how we're expressing what we're doing. The pagan tradition is one of aligning in harmony with life. That's what align with a oneness beyond human understanding is when Ernest Holmes describes prayer that way. Get in harmony, not with what people are doing and the painful things, but in harmony with life, so that it can express through you without your stinky thinking and without your fixed ideas, so it can speak through you. I recently heard a podcast by Nick Askew. Now, I had heard about him several years ago, and I listened to him talk, and this is a man without religion, without all spiritual practices. He had no interest in that. That's not what he was about at all. But he describes this experience that he has. of disappearing into life. Have you ever experienced disappearing? Maybe into a project or art or a sport or love, disappearing in service. He spoke of disappearing and feeling that vast openness of life, of being, not separate from anything. And so I started listening to this man because I was so fascinated, because I had had that experience. He came from nothing in the spiritual realm, not from some teacher, and he was speaking of something that was so beautiful. When Ernest Holmes says, practice the presence, align, that's what he's speaking of. Not individual, but just a part of this one life. And I'd watch this man because he started filming people, just filming them without words, without script. And you could watch these people drop the layers as they sat. I mean, this was a long time. He would sit and film people for 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes at one-on-one and sometimes in a whole group of people. And you could feel them just dropping all the stories of their identity, all the feelings and those past ideas just dropping into. And you'd hear them describe, talk about that openness of being. He's so amazing. It's so simple. Not an adding on of words, not an adding on of ideas. A stopping, putting down for just a moment. It doesn't take a long time to stop. That's our invitation, to align in that awareness that we're connected. Always, always in our brokenness and our struggles, right here. It's what our benediction points to, that we speak every Sunday. That knowing life is here, being us. Something wonderful is happening through me. It's being us. I'm not being it. Life is being us, just the way it is. Broken or not, pained or not. Can we stop and recognize that spaciousness that's holding us? We don't need to put ideas and theology on top of it. It's just here. And it's shifting in this very moment. Is there something fixed in your mind right now? I'm not pretending that things aren't happening. I'm not pretending that everything's okay and we should just let go and let God and no problem. There are things that are going to be done through us. And so Nick Askew talks about letting that stillness rise in us, not us looking for it and seeking it, but letting it arise because it's already here. As my little granddaughter recognized when she walked out of the barn, it was already here. It was just clouded over with all this smelly stuff. She couldn't even speak about it. So we're just stopping for a moment. And what Nick says, the way he describes it, is allow the stillness to speak through you. Imagine that. As somebody with a gift for gab, chatterbox from the word first go in my life, to stop for a moment and put it all down and just be right here. Do we trust that? Do we trust that it will move us? It may or may not give us what we want. You know, Ernest Holmes is clear about that. It's not about getting what you want, but it is about being who and what we are. And I promise you that's a good thing. Years ago, when I was living down in the Bay Area, I worked in a day treatment facility for severely emotionally disturbed kids. It was a lock-up facility, but it was just during the daytime. We worked 5 days a week all through the year. It was intense. These kids did not have pretty lives. So on the weekends, they'd go home and come back, and you could feel the stuff that had been deepened in them. They were pained. They didn't have a relationship with themselves. They did not know how to have relationship with others. Everything was through the filter of my needs aren't getting met, no matter what we did. The one day we had run out of food for breakfast, and the kids had this big fit. And so the next day, we made a colossal amount of food, and the kids wouldn't even come in the room. I found that very fascinating. So I'm working in this facility that worked through the year, except for we took August off, just because we needed to. In this 1 year, my spiritual teacher from India had come to visit, and he would stay and do these big meditation tours. And I went on tour with him from San Diego up to Seattle. And it was blessed. I lost myself in meditation, hours and hours and hours and hours of sitting. I lost myself in service, hours and hours and hours of serving the community. And as it were, I was going to be late for 2 days. I was going to be behind schedule in coming back to the center, and I called them up and they said, that's okay, but the kids are going to have a hard time. And at our staff meeting, the psychiatrist and the psychologist and the social worker all said, be careful, the kids are going to be mad because all they know is that you abandoned them. So I unlocked the door to the classrooms, and I went down to the end of the hall where the biggest kids were, the ones that were most violent. And I unlocked that door and went in. And the kids were all huddled over at a corner of the room looking at a project that was going on. And they turned around and saw me and ran to me and hugged me and said, we missed you. That wasn't me that did that. I reported that in our afternoon closing meeting. And they didn't even say it was a fluke. They act like I didn't even speak it. Do we trust stillness? Do we trust putting down our idea of what I need to do and trust that life will express through us and that it makes a difference if I'm anchored or not, if I'm aligned in peace or not, whether I'm aligned in harmony with the planet or not. I suggest, as our founder Ernest Holmes said, that when we lose ourselves in that consciousness, we lose ourselves of separate. We find ourselves. And it's the best thing we can do for our world. I invite you to turn within to prayer right now. To that stillness right here. Breathing each breath. To that presence that holds and unfolds through all life, new right now. Right here, always. This one presence that holds all of creation, that holds every moment, everyone, everything is right here. Named or unnamed, it simply is. And so I recognize this one presence, this one life being me right now. Expressing in and through this very moment. It is being everyone in this room, everyone that hears this word. It is being all of life. And it is that unfolds and informs uniquely through each of us. Beyond ideas of good and bad, beyond rules of do this or don't. There is that informs, that calls us home. This is our life. And we are held, we are supported, we are sustained in, by, and as this one. I am so grateful to know this truth. I am so grateful for this brand new moment and this call home in conscious awareness. And in this, I simply give thanks. I let go. I let this be. And so it is. Amen.
Invite us all to take a nice deep breath, breathing in. Let out a big sigh. We use our breath to help us to make our transition to our practice of spiritual circulation here in our community. And before we pass the baskets today, I want to share an exciting update with you. That's actually a result of spiritual circulation. Our roof replacement has begun.
Yay.
Now, we were able to do this because of your generous donations during our Raising Our Roof campaign, and that funded about half of the cost to replace the roof. And because we have a prudent reserve, that was able to fill in the other half that we needed to get the work going, which means that by this fall, we will have a new roof just in time for the rainy season. Now, that also means that your gifts have the opportunity to fill that gap in our prudent reserve that we use so that we can start this work now and then be set for the next 30 years on this roof. And if you'd like to have your gift today go towards the roof, you can just write roof on your envelope if you're here in the room. If you're giving online, you can just put roof in the comments and we'll make sure that that goes to our roof fund. But I want to say thank you for all of your generous donations. And I also want to say a very big thank you to the team that has been working for, I believe, over a year on making sure that we had all the information and planning done to be able to be successful with this project. That's Bob Stender, our facility manager, Bob Hart, Jim Thomason, and Wayne Stanfield. They met many, many, many times. And they did an incredible job. They did everything they could to make sure that we were as informed as we possibly could in this giant project, literally, for our community. So if you see them out in the social hall or in passing, be sure to thank them for that. Now, I invite our ushers to stand, and I invite you to hold your gift close to your heart and repeat after me. I bless my gift.
I bless my gift.
I send it forth to heal and prosper.
I send it forth to heal and prosper.
It does incredible work in the world.
It does incredible work in the world.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Ushers, please receive the gift.
Guide my day, open my hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Spirit, guide my day. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice. Let's hear you now. Open my heart to live your way. Teach me to hear your voice. Open my mind to the freedom of choice.
Sophia and the band, everyone. Guess what? Sharing our books is today. We have thousands of books in store for you right out there in the social hall. They are just waiting for you to take them home. Please take them home. Anything that isn't taken home, we will donate, but there are so many incredible books out there. And best of all, there is a whole table dedicated just to books from Dr. Edwards' personal library that he is donating before his retirement next year. So you definitely want to check that out. I have a feeling that table is going to go very fast. Okay, so thank you to everyone who donated books, and thank you to all of our volunteers and librarians who are helping out with this today. A special thanks to Tamira Hume and Jan Davis for organizing this. They have been sorting books for the last few weeks, and that is a gigantic effort. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we've got many intriguing and fun classes and workshops in store for you this year. And first, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered how you might be able to live a more effortless life? Well, that's what Taoism seeks to teach, methods that can help us to stop going against the grain of life and instead find our way into flow, into harmony and balance, into what Taoism calls Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action. And we're going to explore that in my upcoming class called Zhuangzi and the Tao, Effortless Living. And through fun and thought-provoking stories that are within that text, the Zhuangzi, we're going to learn how we can cultivate harmony in our life and with the people in it. So be sure you sign up today so that I know that you're coming. And our class begins on Tuesday, August 11 at 6 p.m. That's both in person and online. Now, rather than tell you about Reverend Sciota's upcoming class, Ancient Wisdom and the Science Mind, I have a video from her that I'd like to share with you. Can we play that video, Greg?
My name is Sciota, and I've always been fascinated by ancient wisdom. My curiosity led me to explore many ancient cultures, and even though they were separated by thousands of miles, I learned that they often developed remarkably similar spiritual insights. And it turns out that their ideas are just as meaningful today as they were centuries ago. And now I have the opportunity to share with you what this ancient wisdom reveals to us about our divine nature, our relationship with Spirit, and how it might enhance our lives. I'd love for you to join me.
Free session of spiritual coaching from one of our licensed prayer practitioners. And then there's a one-time discount in our bookstore, Stepping Stones Books and Gifts. And after a year, you gain access to our member assistance program so that if you should encounter a financial emergency, we have one-time financial assistance available to you. But best of all is the joy of knowing that you've called this community your spiritual home. So we're going to cover all of this and even more in the upcoming new member orientation workshop that's free, and it's coming this Sunday, August 9th at 1 p.m. And you can join us to learn about the ins and outs of our center. We'll give you a tour of our website, and you'll have an opportunity to affirm your membership with our community. I'm really excited about this next one. If you love to-do lists, or maybe you want some more organization in your life, Reverend Tara would like to show you how you can turn to-do lists into a spiritual practice with her upcoming workshop, The Magic of To-Do Lists, and that's happening on Sunday, August 16 at 1 p.m. And in this fun workshop, you're going to explore to-do lists from many different angles, such as managing your time rather than letting it manage you, recognizing, trusting your core values so that they can guide you like a compass, and you'll learn to use to-do lists to do what you want without abandoning meaningful commitments, while also noticing the power and magic of the ability to see things just a little bit differently. So you can sign up for all of these classes on our website. And we also offer a sliding scale for our workshops and non-accredited classes. And we also have discounts and scholarships available for Ancient Wisdom and Science of Mind with Reverend Scioto. So you can send me an email, education@cslsr.org, if you are interested in applying for a scholarship for that. Now, last week, Astra Fox told you about her Joyful Frequency Song Circle, which was last Thursday. But you know what? We goofed on the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to have another Joyful Frequency Song Circle during the regular time when it normally would be, which is this coming Thursday at 6 p.m. right out there in the social hall. So no need to sign up for that. You can just drop by. It's offered on a love offering basis. So if you came last Thursday, guess what? You can come again and have more singing with Astra Fox as a spiritual practice. Now, one of the things that I love about contributing to our community is knowing that we support so many nonprofit organizations that do good work in Sonoma County and beyond. And did you know that since 2004, we have partnered with 258 nonprofits that were all introduced by people in our community just like you. In fact, you may have submitted some of those in the past. So it's time again for those nominations, and today is the due date to nominate your 2027 nonprofits. And then from that, we will choose 12 that we will support financially throughout the year in 2027. So we have a form available at the info desk if you want to fill out a paper form. That's also available on our website. And if you have any questions about that process, you can come up and ask me over at the info desk. But be sure to get your nominations in by the end of today, because today is the deadline. Now, finally, today we have a teen bake sale out there, so I know that browsing all of those books is going to make you very hungry. Right? So luckily our teens have you covered. Be sure to pick up some baked goods to help them. That will help them to go to teen camp, which our teens just got back from, and you'll hear more about that soon. Okay, and thank you so much for all your donations there. Now, before we close, I want to share something fun really quick. I have moved into my new home. Now, obviously, this is a topic that's been on my mind a lot the last month, so I thought it would be a great topic for us to explore in our August Wednesday evening services at 7 p.m., the idea of house and home and how we can build that spiritual home, not just around us where we're living, but also within our heart, and how we can find our way back to coming home to Spirit. So you can join me out there in the social hall here in person at 7 p.m. this Wednesday throughout August, and we're going to have fun with that. So that is all I have for announcements today. If you are having a challenging time, if you would like spiritual support, or if you would just like to spend time with a practitioner and have them affirm the joy and good that is in your life, please take advantage of our after-service prayer. If you're watching online, there's a link that you can go to for a free online confidential Zoom prayer with one of our prayer practitioners. And if you're here in the sanctuary, you can head on over to Joyce in the white table in the corner there. She'll direct you to one of our practitioners who'd love to pray for whatever your heart desires. All right, I invite us all to stand as we're able and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to turn within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the books. Let's close in song.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm